Morning, everybody. It is May 23rd. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group Securities offered by MoneyBlock. This is on the open here at MarketStream.live, and I want to welcome everybody. And unfortunately, in the overnight, we had yet another unfortunate event. Now, I live in a city where these events are happening more and more often. Senseless violence and another terrorist attack in Manchester. And coming from Chicago, this comes to be almost, unfortunately, an everyday event. And it's a very sad situation, and our hearts go out to the victims and victims' families and friends of this senseless violence. With that being said, though, what we saw is a mixed market coming into the open. It has now firmly gone to the green and to the upside. As a matter of fact, you see the UK FTSE up to 0.25%, up 17 at 74.13. And the bulls are completely in control right now in the English markets in the UK. That's a positive note, and it also is a positive for the strength of the markets. As a matter of fact, if you look at the whole Eurozone right now, the data that came out this morning, the CPI and PPI data that came out for the Eurozone all came out in line and basically within expectations. So there is no surprise there. The ECB, basically their version of the Federal Reserve, came out and said they have absolutely no plans from diverting from the current policy and alter that monetary policy. Despite the fact that they've seen a pretty decent sized pop in the longer term yields in the bond markets, but they will continue to stay with their policy, and we'll see how that plays out over the next coming weeks and months and quarters. Again, back to the UK, one notable thing is unemployment came in at 4.6%. You are seeing, though, real estate and financials are a little bit under pressure. We saw that in the beginning. We'll see if that continues to hold up, but with the CPI data and the PPI data coming out for the zone positive and the unemployment coming in at 4.6%, what was to the upside was home builders, and they continue to drive. Also energy, while crude has been pulling back a little bit in front of the OPEC meeting that has had everything telegraphed pretty much so in front of the meeting as far as potential production cuts being extended and so forth. The bottom line is that the UK is holding up, and that's despite the fact that there is this turmoil with this terrorist attack in Manchester. Also, what's notable is the election on June 8th. It's going to be coming up fast, and now it's going to be furious. And I think you're going to see a united front in the UK, and that is driving the markets right now. And you clearly see that it's above its 20 and 50-day moving average. For those of you that are new, that's telling you that Europe, and by the way, in full disclosure, my clients and I have exposure to Europe right now. But right now, the bulls are clearly in control in the English markets. Now, turning into the German markets, again, the German markets are to the upside this morning. They're up about 0.4% right now, up 50 points. You have Angela Merkel's party winning regional runoffs as far as in advance of their elections that are coming up. You're also seeing that names like Renault and Merck and BASF Renault is French. BASF and Merck are under pressure, and you have Volkswagen under pressure due to the fact that there is some concern about some Porsche executives under investigation. But the DAX is holding up quite nicely. But the reason why I mention this is that it is basically sitting right on its 20-day moving average. It's challenging it. Watch the German markets. This is the largest economy in Europe, and it needs to get a catalyst to the upside. Right now, today, it's up almost 0.4% at 0.38%. You can see it's just basically waffling right on above that 20-day moving average. Let's see what the next catalyst is going to be the upside. With the positive CPI, the positive PPI data, you're seeing growth, you're seeing inflation, and the policies, they may come into question, but they're going to stay their course right now as far as monetary policy. Looks like we could see some potential upside in the German markets, but they're being challenged. And you're seeing similar action in the French markets. The CAC right now is trading right on its 20-day moving average, almost a mirror image of the German markets. And this is post the presidential election. Macron has won. He's putting in now his whole entire team. The markets have bounced this morning up 0.64%. That's good for 34 points to the upside of 53.56. Again, bouncing off that 20-day moving average. Why do I mention the 20, the 15, and 200? Those are short-term, intermediate-term, and long-term perspectives. It tells me who is in control of the market right now. And the bulls are continuing to be in control in basically the three largest markets in Europe. But the two large boys, the CAC and the DAX, the Germans and the French markets, are challenging that short-term trend. Let's see if they get a catalyst to the upside. What's notable is consumer names, they're under pressure, and you're seeing some material names like Mattel under pressure, as well as some autos like Renault actually ups to the upside as far as materials and autos, specifically Renault to the upside. So some interesting action, a little bit mixed, but now we see solidly in the green. Let's see if that translates into the end of the day upside after seeing mixed action in the Asian markets. All right, folks, that is it for On the Open at Europe. Join me at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. I'm going to be going over all the action here in the U.S. We'll see you then.